guys, welcome back to Fellas Heaven. This is Grace Talk. Today we're going to be taking from where we left last week. We're going to be talking about how we can improve ourselves with the gifts that God has given us. So we're going to take our reading from the parable of the three servants. Yes, which is in Matthew 25 from verse 14. Again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. He called together his servants and entrusted his money to them while he was gone. He gave 5 bags of silver to one, 2 bags of silver to another, and 1 bag of silver to the last, dividing it in proportion to their abilities. He then left on his trip. The servant who received the 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. The servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. But the servant who received the 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid the master's money. After a long time, their master returned from his trip and called them to give an account of how they had used his money. The servant to whom he had entrusted the 5 bags of silver came forward with 5 more and said, "Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest, and I've earned 5 more." The master was full of praise. "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount. So now I'll give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." The servant who had received the 2 bags of silver came forward and said, "Master, you gave me 2 bags of silver to invest, and I've earned 2 more." The master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount. So now I'll give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." Then the servant with 1 bag of silver came and said, "Master, I knew you were a harsh man, harvesting crops you didn't plant and gathering crops you didn't cultivate. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Look, here is your money back." But the master replied, "You wicked and lazy servant. If you knew I harvested crops I didn't plant and gathered crops I didn't cultivate, why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least I could have gotten some interest on it." Then he ordered, "Take the money from this servant and give it to the one with the 10 bags of silver." So this is the story. This is the parable that Jesus was telling the people that about the kingdom of God, explaining how the kingdom of God works. And also we see that these were the 3 servants that their master had entrusted them with some gifts, some talents, yes, that he had given them. So I took this into our lives. Yes, God has given us the gifts that he has given us, the gifts that we have been discussing all this while, the gifts that we are supposed to use to give him glory, the gifts that we're supposed to use to reach the kingdom. So now we can use those gifts even to improve ourselves. Look at the first 2 servants that were given the gifts. They were given the gifts, yes, and then they improved what the master had given them. They improved those the gifts that they were given, and so we see that by so doing, this made the master happy. That is 1. 2, this also made, the master said, we can celebrate. We are going to celebrate because you have done well. We are going to celebrate because you have used the gift. This also gives you a joy in your heart, and literally when you use your gifts, it brings joy in your heart. Sometimes we look for joy in different situations. We look for joy in different things. We look for joy in some certain things that maybe we might not even be fulfilled with the joy that we have received from those things. But if we get to use our gifts that God has given us, maybe you never know, you can find your joy from using your gifts. And also we discover that using your gifts can also improve the way your patience. It can also improve your patience. I mean, this man, we do not know how long he was gone. He went away, but then we don't know. I don't know. There is no record of how long he was gone. And these guys, they just, okay, fine, he's gonna be back anytime soon. We're not going to stop working because he is not here. We're just going to continue working. We're just going to continue working. Whatever time he's here, well, that's fine. That's perfect. But then we see that their patience is exercised, because they kept on working, and this one gained 5, this one gained 2, according to their abilities, like what the word of God said, according to their abilities. And we see that also, now we look at the guy that didn't do anything, nothing. He gained nothing from it. In as much as he was given a gift, he did not improve it, he did not use it for anything, he hid the gift. like maybe what most of us might be doing right now. Like we are maybe just saying, maybe I'm afraid to be using my gift, I don't know how to use this gift, or maybe you don't know your gift. Like we said, you can go and check the other video on how you can discover your gift. So in essence, I'm just saying, we should use our gifts, and these gifts can also improve us as human beings. Like you can produce a lot of things from the gifts that God has given us. To mention a few: patience, joy. Like you can get those things from using your gifts. Stay tuned and see you next time. So I'm just encouraging you guys to just believe in God. Believe God has given you something. Believe God has put a seed in you, and believe me, it's going to germinate one day. It's going to germinate. It's going to pop. Like people are going to appreciate what He has given you. So just believe in God and trust God to move with you each and every step. Do not neglect God as you are moving with your gift, as you are practicing your gift, as you are, as you are working on your gifts. Do not neglect God. Always put God first as you are you want to discover your gift, as you're honoring Him with your gift, as you are helping the next person with your gift. Just do not neglect God as you are using your gift. So do not forget to subscribe, share, and like. Stay tuned.